Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab in the wee hours, doing what I do for you. I'm in the book. I got a nice little lesson for you today. We're gonna find God. We're gonna look for God. I'm gonna tell you where he at. Okay? Let's go. Rightisms. 25 rules live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? So let's get there together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical. And if you know how to answer for yourself, stay tuned. I can help you with that. Yeah, that's what I do. A person who knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to my eye, be true. Question, right thinkers, let's talk about. The question is, where is God? Answer, within you. Let's talk about it. Title was, God is within, not out. All religions should profess that. Let's see if they do. I'm going to take you through all the religious concepts right now. Let's go about that concept about God, starting with the Egyptians. And all the texts that I studied and read from around the world. And there is one important thing that comes through again and again through every religious concept. And that is what? In its teachings of where divinity, where God is to be found. So to be interested, let's go. Why? Because of ignorance, most people believe, right there, ignorance and belief go together. Because most people believe that the self is to be found where? Somewhere outside of themselves. But the scriptures handed down through the ages by enlightened saints and sages over the years give an indication as to the true abode, place of the divine, where the following, I'm gonna break it down, is a short survey of world mystical philosophies, starting with the ancient Egyptians' view. And from there, I'm going to take you through the concept of God in Confucianism, the concept of God in Buddhism, the concept of God in Shin Taoism, the concept of God in Taoism, the concept of God in Hinduism, and the concept of God in Sikhism. Okay? And these are all everybody's viewpoint of where God is. How about that? This should be nice lessons. Should be, I think it's informative. You might enjoy it. Let's go. If you're into God. If you're into God, this ain't gonna be for you. All right. But now watch this. Where we stop at, like I said again, okay. So now the following is a short survey of the world mystical philosophy, starting with the Egyptians. Okay, the book of Coming Forth by Dead, chapter 17. It reads, Ra is the great God who is inside the ordinary person. The ancients, or not Egyptians, but the Greeks and Romans thought that the masses didn't need to be educated. That's the biggest mistake. Right now, and to this day, they say 85% of the society is ignorant. That's a shame. But it is what it is. But that's the concept. And everybody had an idea about God. And again, we're dealing with the God concept. If you believe in God, I don't believe in God, we both right. How could that be? Because you're entitled to your belief. And you deal with that on your own. That's between you and God. That's why. So ain't nobody wrong in what they believe. So Judgment Day, you'll find out if you follow the right. If you're getting into I know Jesus. I know. Okay, but we don't know Jesus. So where you get that from? But they sent you the wrong way. You got the wrong places. Okay, moving on. In the New Testament, the Gospel of Luke, we find the following statement. This is for you Christians. 17:21, Luke. Neither shall they say, lo here, lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is in the midst of you. Now, you can slice it, dice it any way you want, but if you understand, they say God ain't here, he ain't there, God is in you. That's what the New Testament said according to Luke's gospel. But you have to understand, it is a remarkable statement. Why? Everybody's questioning, or the definition of midst, amongst, in, you. So once the definition of the word is understood, you know what they're saying. If you don't understand what the midst means, then you got to define that word to get the definition to have a clear understanding. It's a remarkable statement. Why? Because the word midst, M-I-D-S-T, of you, midst of you, leads the mind to entertain many possibilities. Okay, that's fine. But that's the purpose of having what? Definition. But most biblical scholars have accepted, this statement as possibly, right there. They don't have a direct definition, but it could possibly mean that the kingdom is within you. That's a good assumption. That's a good right on time. Or among you, again. But what does this parable really mean? There you go. Once you get the understanding, now you get the meaning. In light of deeper psychological significance. What is he saying? He's trying to get across and convey the fact that whatever you call it, it's in you. Kingdom, heaven, God, it's in you, amongst you. Spread out amongst you, the nation. God's presence is seen, known, and experienced at all times. This is his world. Moving on. All right. And having a clear understanding God. Just blindly believing God does this, God does that, don't help you one bit. Okay. But now in the following statements, I'm about to read them all for you. From the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel according to Peter. There is a clearer, okay, we got to read that, exposition of the meaning. There you go. Which is explained further throughout the text of the gospel, Now, in the very beginning, what happened? Number 2, chapter 2 of the gospel. And at the very end, 117 of the same gospel, there are statements which directly refer to the kingdom. God. Jesus said, if those who seek to attract you say to you, see, the kingdom is in heaven. That's what the Roman Catholics sold you on. And watch this. If the kingdom is in heaven, then that means the birds in heaven will get there before you. And if they say to you, it is in the sea, okay, this concept before, then the fish will get there before you. But you need to know and understand that the kingdom is both where? Within you and outside of you as well. It can't get no clearer than that. I don't frequent the Bible, but I can understand that what that means. That's not hard to understand. I got a few things in there I don't agree with, but I can understand this concept. And 117 states, the kingdom of the Father is spread upon the earth. That's nature. And man don't see it due to his ignorance, okay? But of God. He had to be proven. He had to be shown. And that's okay because he will. And then you'll find out sooner or later. All right? Now, let's go through the concepts of God. In the Confucianism, there's going to be one phrase, and this is all about identifying with God. For the Confucians, their concept, what the undeveloped man, and the ignorant man, the undeveloped man seeks is outside. What the advanced and intelligent man, enlightened man, right thinker, man seeks is what? Within himself. Ignorant man think God is out there. An enlightened man know that God is in here. That's Confucians. That's their concept. Now let's go to Buddhism. They ain't big on God. Okay, they're big on principles and philosophy and ethics. But watch this in storytelling, mythological concepts. The concept of God in Buddhism. If you think the law is outside yourself, the law meaning God, you are embracing not the absolute law, but what? Some inferior teachings from what? Ignorant teachers. If your information is coming from somebody who's giving you misinformation, incorrect information, it's not good information. It's information, but it's not good. It's not useful. It's not productive. That's what they try to explain to you. Now, let's talk about the concept of the God in Shintoism. They say, do not search in distant skies for God. I mean, he ain't in heaven. In man's own heart is where he can be found. Now, this is from the Shintoism in China, obviously. We in Egypt, same philosophy. See? Same concept. Worded different, but the same thing. Everybody got a concept and a philosophy, a dogma, whatever you want to call it, theisms, whatever you got. I got that for you coming up too. All right. But again, everybody's free. They say freedom, free will, freedom to choose what you think is best for you. You ain't got to follow nobody. You can do your own thing. By all means, see what that gets you. Reincarnation. Let's go. Now, let's talk about the concept of God and Taoism. They got their concept too. Being at one with the Tao is eternal. They said Tao is the way, nature. They got the concept. The great Tao flows where? Everywhere. Both to the left and to the right. Can't get around it, can't get over it, can't get under it. That's the Taoism concept. Okay, of God. Let's talk about the Sikhism. The concept of God in Sikhism. Why wilt thou go into the jungles? Talking about the shaman now. I know what that's coming from. And what do you hope to find there in the jungles? Okay. Even as the scent dwells within the flower, so God within thine own heart ever abides. If you're looking here for God, you're looking in all the wrong places. That's what every religion concept I'm just reading, it all says, coming back to that. If you're looking somewhere other than here, you're looking in the wrong place. They interviewed the monks, the Tibetan monks. Got the little orange stuff on there, walking around, everybody chanting with it. Ask them, where is God? The monk say, they thought he gonna point up. He came right here. So everybody knows where God is. Metaphorically, symbolically, conceptually, everybody know where his presence is in man. What's this? They had a view. Now, I got another important aspect from the Egyptian religion and their ritual with respect to your Christian is the consumption. What's this? We say consumption of the god and goddess or the netta as a means of becoming what? One like unto them. Now that concept right there. I had one of my right thinkers DM me, can I give you some Mayan codex? This is one quick Mayan codex. They misinterpret that concept. They would catch their enemies. Take what they thought were the bravest and the baddest, take them up on the pyramid, open them up, stretch them out, rip out his heart, out his chest will still be, eat it, and think they're going to take on his attributes. That is only symbolic. It's a ritualistic concept. Again, when you take a ritual that's metaphorical, symbolical, and try to make it literal, you're really messing up and you misinterpret the symbolic meaning of what we are being taught. Somebody tell the Christian writers, let your people know this is an allegorical book. Right there. That'll stop all that. Well, they really exist. Oh, they're going to argue back and forth when the argument is useless. Why? Because the authors of that book didn't put them in check for real. Other people know that. Why don't they? I know that. I ain't a Bible thumper. Moving on. But this is for y'all Christians. Consuming the God, meaning taking on what? The attributes, acting like them, being like them. Y'all got what you call communion. We called it the Eucharist. Becoming one with God is called the Eucharist. Y'all practice, y'all call it communion. Watch this. I got that for you coming up. Moving on. Watch this. So, to becoming like the gods by emulating them, not eating them physically, literally. This idea occurs in a limited fashion in certain elements of the Hinduism philosophy also, such as what the battles of Krishna and Rama, who had to fight off the demons, who he defeats the demons, and they become what? Absorbed by him. Become part of him now. Everybody, all the bad guys, always they do something, they take your powers. That's the concept, and everybody's doing it now. I'm listening to their little animation, little stuff they're doing now. Everybody, they dead, but they came out from the dead with powers. But the devil just sending y'all back like a manufacturing machine assembly line. All right. But he became absorbed by him, the demon. He absorbed him up. However, it does not occur with the same intensity and the emphasis as in the Egyptian ritual and, watch this, all religious thought except in the Christian idea of what they call the Eucharist. Hey, where the Christian followers, listen, this is what y'all do, and this is what I don't do. This is what I won't do. The Christian followers are led to understand, to believe that he or she is consuming what? Christ. The divinity itself. How? Through the host of the Mass, which I call communal ritual of the Eucharist, eating the body and the blood of Christ. It's cannibalism. Okay, that's a pagan practice of cannibalism. It's metaphorical and symbolical, not literal. If it's literal, then y'all eating the body of Christ, and that's not what that's supposed to be. It's all symbolic. Y'all have understand at one point, and then you go way left. No, stay there. Understand it for what it is. Now, let me get this. I see I got a few minutes left. Let me break down what God, creation, and the mystical symbol of the creator and created. I'm going to show you right here. See the dot? That's God. See the circle? That's God encompassing all. And down here you see the sun disk. Where is it at? Yeah, right down here. It's called the dot in the circle. Okay, that's Ra, and it's all symbolic. So let's talk about that real quick. Not literal. So breaking it down for you, hope you get to understand that this is all esoteric, meaning there's a hidden message here. It's a subliminal message here. It's all symbolic. In ancient Egyptian mysticism, the creator is seen as a dot. Okay, signs and symbol. Got that book too. Breaks that down. The first concept of God wasn't in human form. It was a dot with all the potential. Again, that black thing, all the potential to do and to be what anything. I can do all things through who? Through that dot, through the Spirit of God that strengthens me. Y'all call it Christ, call it what you want, but we know what the original concept is, but we know where you got it from. Understand that, please. And what? I don't have a problem with it at all. But in the origin of all things, seen and what? Unseen. The true origin of countless vast individual souls. That's God giving himself opportunity to be an individual in human form, spiritual becoming matter. Pure potentiality. Every human being, whatever you can conceive, you can achieve. That's all in the God concept, okay? And that's known as what they call what? It's pure potentiality, meaning it's untouched. That means you are non-dual in your essence. And there is no pairs of opposites like male, female in the existence yet. This is before. In the spirit, there is no sex, no male or female. It's just pure potential. It can become male or female. That's the problem when you come into duality in human form. The body needed sex. Spirit don't. From the center outward, that's what they mean. The dot and everything comes from out there. The creator, who we call who? Amen. Amun, is the projector. Okay, he projects himself into himself. I mean, he created and he got into his creation. In the Christian form, he shaped man out of dirt and mud and blew breath of life in him. Okay, whatever you say, but that's the concept. Okay, he got into his creation. He ain't sitting up high, looking down low, like, I see. No, he's in his creation. We tell you that in the beginning. Start out that way. How did he get up high? How did he get out of us? How did he change his colors? Another lesson. We ain't talking about that right now. Let's go. I'm almost done. I see the clock. I got to beat the clock. All right, what we got? The dot. Now, at the time of creation, the outer circle, they call the cosmos, is created. That's the big circle. Time and space came into being. Y'all know it as the Big Bang. Literally. Okay? Let that be, bam, happening. Now happens. This is the aura of God. The circle. No beginning, no end is this concept. God represents that. No beginning, no ending. That's why the circle represents God. The receiving female aspect part of the dot may now be referred to as what? The Lord or Father or the male aspect of God, etc. And creation may now be called what? Goddess or the mother, the female aspect. Got to have both to have a creation. Now, when creation is created from the one, an apparent division occurs. An apparent, it seems, we are individual. One with two things, physical body and a nervous system, an astral body, a mental, okay? So we are two in one anyway, three in one if you look at it. But watch this. And this occurs where there exists what? Two principles. Mayat represents that. And these principles encompass the notion of duality, male or female, mover or moved, vivifier or vivified, positive or negative, giver and receiver, all together what? In one body called the all, the absolute, the virtue. So we had the concept, we knew exactly what we were talking about. Wrapping it up. One part gives the life force. The other receives the life force. Again, he both giver and receiver. That's him. And once he does that, everything come out after that comes in pairs. And then what? Returns it back to the source. in a perpetual cycle that we call life. Nothing is gained or nothing is lost. He can multiply himself billions and trillions of times, don't add nothing, and all those billions of physical bodies can die and pass on, and he don't lose nothing. He a bad man. That's what I'm saying. Watch this. Now the cosmos and everything in it, including all living beings, species, animals, plants on all planets and all planes of existence are really what? One supreme being viewed as separate entities by who? Our conditioned minds. There are still what? One whole. This symbol is all we call Ra. The dot in the circle. Look like a nipple, don't it? Because it's a life giver. God does that. He gives. And it looks like you're going to go wrap this up right here. But this is the next lesson. Okay? That's God right there. Like a female tit, don't it? That's the concept. All right? That's the lesson. I'll be right back with the next part of it. But right in closing, right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. I never let my right thinkers who now got a better understanding of the concept of God from all different religious aspects have passed away. I'll be right back.